Hey everybody, Jay the Fish Guy here. So today we're going to do our December fish room update. So stay tuned. Alright, so definitely making some progress. Again, a little bit slow, but feel pretty good about the fact that got half of the 10s up and one of the 20s up. Lots of fish going on, lots of new stuff in the last month, so let's get started and I'll just go from tank to tank and show you guys what I got going on. If you guys saw my last video, you'll know that these guys are the Boesemani Rainbow Fry that I've been growing up. Again, doing well, just slow growers. They're finally getting some size on them. Not too bad. Again, a little bit bigger than Guppy Fry for the biggest ones, and about the size of newborn Guppy Fry for the smaller ones. Next tank over. These guys, they were guppies that I got in for a client. Sold some, bought extras at the time. The males all sold off, and then I got a few extra females that I've been hanging on to. And these guys have been breeding like crazy. So I have at least 3 different kinds. I'm not quite sure why this isn't focusing. Just moving around too much. At least 3 different kind of guppies. The golden ones, there's 2 different types of tails, 2 of one kind, 1 of another, and then the darker colored ones, they may or may not be all the same kind. I'm kind of waiting for the fry to all grow up and see what's going on. You know, a lot of these tanks, I'm doing extra sponge filters, getting them cycled, so when I start up the next 10-gallon tanks, you know, they're ready to go and I don't have to worry about cycling the tank. Got a bunch of little fry in here. I've been separating them out as I get the new tanks up and going, just to try to figure out what strains I have and maybe try to keep them somewhat pure to start with. So fun little tank, little bushy nose bopping around in the back there. Next tank over, sorry about the glare. We got the blood red swords and a whole bunch of little bushy nose plecos. I got albinos and the regulars. Got all these guys from Scowntown Aquatics last week before. It's all blended together now. Anyway, they're in here for now just to make sure everybody's healthy and looking good. There wasn't any concerns, but just it's a good idea to quarantine and keep things separate before you start spreading stuff all around, especially with the bushy nose, because I plan on putting at least 1 in every tank, and then as they get bigger, maybe try to start breeding those guys up. First tank on the rack, we got some Nebula steel guppies. Got these off of Aquabed. Not too bad. The males are starting to color up. Bunch of females. I think I have at least 3 or 4 males in there. These guys, once I found these on Aquabid and saw some of the pictures of the adult males, it just kind of blew me away. It's just an awesome looking guppy, and definitely one I wanted to have in the fish room. Let's see, I have these in all of the tanks on the rack. So I went with the idea of doing bare bottom. I like just to be able to see how much they're eating, make sure that they can go back and eat any food off the bottom. You know, if there's a tank where there's a bunch of uneaten food, I can either adjust accordingly as far as how much I'm feeding, or figure out if there's an issue. So I still wanted to have some gravel, still wanted to have live plants in there. Obviously with guppies, that's important. Places to hide, you know, run away for the fry as well as for the females if they're getting bothered by the males. So I just did these little containers. I've seen people do a lot of different things. They do sometimes the clay pots. They do like little Rubbermaid containers. I found these at the dollar store. I got, I think it was 3 of them for $1. So I got two packages. I liked them because they didn't look like household, you know, kitchen containers. They didn't have measurements on the side. Didn't say Rubbermaid. You know, it's the simple things, but I at least wanted it to look a little nicer. I'm weird that way sometimes. All right. So next tank over, these guys are some of the first fry that I got out of those other females. And as best I can tell, based on some of the males, I'm thinking they're either half blacks or what people also call the tuxedos. I see a couple of them throwing blue colors, and then there was a couple green as well. Kind of waiting to see what they turn into when they grow up. Right now, the few males that are really showing colors are looking good, so I'm hopeful it might be a nice strain to keep up with. As you can see, I've got the air turned off. That's mostly because it's just too noisy in my little fish room with that air pump going, so that's mostly for you guys' benefits. These guys are Albino Reds. I ended up getting a trio. And then the trio didn't really come in good. There was one that was definitively a cull. It just simply had a crooked back, and it was similar size to what you see here. And then the male was clamped up, and he actually passed away the first day. These were off of Aquabid. Reached out to the gentleman, was real nice about it. I'm like, hey man, one was really looking like a cull, and then the male just simply was really not doing well, right out of the bag. And he was great about it. He sent me out a whole nother trio. Didn't have me pay for shipping, nothing. Just took care of me. So that was a great purchase. Great customer service. Like to see that. I believe his name on Aquabid was Pronto Delivery. I think he's based out of New York. The second trio that he sent was perfect. No issues, no problems. The male was a little bit smaller, but I mean, still looks great. So I have no issues with that. Next tank over, these are the green Delta Guppies that I got also off of Scowntown Aquatics. The females look like they're going to be pretty close to dropping sometime soon, with any luck. Male looks really nice, got a few, younger females, I believe, back in there. Gives them something to chase around, in addition to the two bigger females there. And then next tank over, we got some slightly older fry that, again, was pulled out of that kind of assorted tank that I showed you initially. Trying, again, to sort out the different types. These ones came, the larger ones came off of one of the lighter colored gold ones with a distinct tail. And then all of these little fry, trying to see if you can see them. I counted about 30. They literally just dropped 2 days ago and already bopping all around, looking pretty good. It was quite a big drop considering the size of the female. I was impressed. Went to bed. She was nice and fat. Woke up the next morning. There was just babies everywhere. It was always a fun times. So that's it for the guppies. And then down here, got the 20 high, and these are my blue Pinoy Angels. Not too bad. I think I ordered, it was 6 plus 2 that he added as quote-unquote a bonus according to the Aquabid ad, and then he ended up throwing me even more. I ended up with 11, and which is a good thing because there are some definitely odd genetics going on. Like if you look at the bottom fin on that guy, it actually doesn't go down all the way. So you can see on these guys, that bottom back part of the fin is just not normal. And there's a few with kind of a weird dorsal as well. So, I'll be able to cull out those and hopefully end up with a pair that looks well with any luck. They're still a ways away from getting big enough. So, that's it for the new stuff. I have a 75-gallon tank down here that's just kind of a holding tank. I got my Severum down in there. Got a bunch of Wisteria, water sprite, whatever you want to call it, down there. And, yeah. So, with any luck, I'll end up getting these other tanks up and going this week, maybe next week. Depends on how my week goes. It's starting to fill up pretty quick with jobs. I do have plans on making a video on how I built the rack, and as well as what I ended up doing for DIY lighting. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. Ended up doing 2 strips of the white, or the cool white, sorry, those are on either end. The cool white, and they're the 5630 LEDs, so they're the much brighter strip. The blue is also a 5630, and then the kind of off-colored one, that's a red-green RGB, and those are the 5050, so those are controllable. You can actually dial in what color. They have the little remote. They're not nearly as bright, but I did want to add in the red spectrum and a little bit more blue too. I see a lot of freshwater tanks and they're just so yellow to my eyes. You know, and maybe it doesn't bother other people, but, you know, with my tanks, I love that whole cool white look. And I think a lot of it is because of my many years of doing salt water and seeing that spectrum, that when I see the just super kind of yellow or so-called like warm white, it just doesn't do it for me. I don't think it throws nearly as good a colors. I don't mind mixing in, you know, again, like that, the 50-50 strip there. Or, yeah, the 50-50, the RGB, just to get those spectrums, you know, the warm white and the red, because, you know, it's supposed to be good for the plant growth. The plants are supposed to make use of the red spectrum, and it does help accentuate some of the colors in the fish, but I just love the bright white with a tint of blue to it. It just, that always does it for me, so... All right, guys, well, if you have any questions or you want me to showcase something on one of my next videos, be sure to let me know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for me so I can keep putting out these videos and know what you guys like. And thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.